If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like. The YouTube algorithm does favor liked videos. I put a lot of work into this, and I would really like for it to do well. I would really like people to watch it. So again, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I have now been training Jiu Jitsu for almost 2 years, and I've been skating for 23. I didn't start training Jiu Jitsu to help my skating in any way, but I couldn't help but notice the subtle changes that it was making to my skating. Although it was slow and gradual, it was definitely changing the way I approached it. I started training for a lot of the same reasons that everyone else does, predominantly to have some sort of self-defense training. I had always been interested and curious about martial arts all throughout my childhood and teen years, but skating took up most of my time. I abandoned anything else. But a part of me wishes that I would have taken this plunge maybe a little bit sooner, and not just because I'd be farther along in my jiu-jitsu journey, but because of what jiu-jitsu has taught me and what I've applied to skating. I think it would have helped. And when I grew up skating in the early 2000s, things were different. Although we had a lot of those big, giant contests, I didn't really skate in a lot of contests. And despite skating being an athletic thing, it wasn't really viewed as such back then. But now that I train jiu-jitsu, I want to be a good competitor because it's kind of all about the tournaments. And I'm not super good at competing. I'm kind of a wild card with it. So I compete because I don't like it. And this involves drilling and preparing for the tournament, you know, kind of grinding it out every single day leading up until the tournament. Had I started training jiu-jitsu earlier and kind of learned these things and took this newfound mindset and I applied it to skating, I think I might have been a lot more comfortable on my board a lot faster.
All right, it's pre-4th of July. I'm skating with John. Woo! And Jacob.
Woo!
And we're gonna get a session in. John wants me to switch Trey off the one stair, so.
I'm forcing Dale to start with a trick that's like, damn, I didn't know he could switch tray flip off things. He's literally about to do it.
I hate how little you think of me, dude.
Switch trays are hard. Hey, plus he obviously can't do it.
Now the first thing I want to talk about is drilling. Drilling is something that we do every single day in class at Jiu Jitsu.
Dude, you've got that. Here. I got it, sorry. Get it. Oh, dude, you know exactly what you're doing.
The principle of repetition, the idea of doing something over and over again until your body builds that muscle memory and you kind of just get used to that movement, and each time you do it, it gets smoother and cleaner, and you become more efficient, you become faster, therefore your execution is better.
Yeah. That was sick.
So having this sort of approach, I think, has made it much more efficient to me skating. I'm so aware of like where my foot positioning is, making sure the movement is the same every single time. Granted, I find the one that works the best for the movement, whether it's a kickflip or I'm grinding or I'm sliding, whatever it is, whatever trick I'm doing.
Yes!
Big sense.
That's good. I'll see you later, dude. Damn it, dude.
Fuck, dude.
Pissing me off. Big booty Biden. Please, God.
It's coming.
All right, it's coming.
I
I can't wait to wait. How much longer are you gonna do this to me? Oh my God.
Like 5 tries.
You got this easily.
I can't believe he just rolls up from the El Sereno bodybuilding competition. Dude, motherfucker, dude.
Where? What have I done? I've ruined your day.
Yeah, you really did.
I think I've ruined my day.
Yeah.
Inadvertently.
But when I'm not talking drilling as in like this militant thing that you do, but say you go to the park and you're warming up, do 20 kickflips up the Euro gap, do 20 switch flips down the 3 stair, like stuff that you know that you can do, and you know, just kind of get used to the repetition of it so it becomes this second nature of muscle memory. If you take that approach every time you go skate, eventually over a shorter period of time, you're gonna become more efficient at the trick or at the movement. The intention is like the important thing, like making sure that I have that mind to muscle connection, that mind to body connection.
Remember, if he's bigger and you get behind him like that, put your knee on behind, or put your foot behind the knee.
You just do this. Your same thing you were doing. Aim for this foot.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
thinking about where my foot placement is, thinking about where my knees are, whether they're bent, where my shoulders and hips are in space and time. And if I'm being extra conscious about it, it actually makes learning new tricks much easier. They come a lot quicker.
Next try or I'm done filming. Have you ever done that one to fakie?
Yeah.
I mean, do you do
Have I
that?
ever done a back heel?
No, do you
What do you think?
do you do those to fakie? As in, after you do this, can you do it to fakie?
Yeah.
Okay. I bet he won't. No offense.
So not only did I notice this drilling aspect kind of start to form and take place, I also noticed physical things about my skating that were changing. My stance, foot positioning, and base all improved. I started standing on my board a little wider. It creates a more solid foundation. The wider the base is, the more you can kind of stack on top of it. So I'm kind of using that concept to keep myself more stable when I'm riding my skateboard. And I'm paying a lot more attention to my foot positioning, where my feet are when I'm trying certain tricks. And if I'm doing something on flat versus down something, how is my foot positioning and base going to change when doing so? So being conscious of those things, it just improves my skating. It makes me feel more comfortable. And again, tricks are coming a lot faster and easier.
Oh, yeah. Slap the mat. Slap the mat.
9 times out of 10, when I'm doing something wrong, I find that it's because my knees are not bent enough. When I have my knees bent, I feel much more sturdy. I feel like my muscles are engaged. They're engaged to brace, they're engaged for the impact that's coming ahead, they're engaged for the pop beforehand. In Jiu Jitsu, it's really important to have a wide base for all these same reasons. The wider your base is, the better your foundation is, the harder you are to tip over, the harder you are to take down. So with this newfound approach that I subconsciously kind of take to skating now, it's really improved my confidence because I know where my limits are now. I should say I know more about my limits. I know roughly more of where they're at. If I'm trying something that I feel is outside of my realm, I'm confident that I'm going to be okay because of all the drilling that I've done. This might sound weird, but the safety precautions I take with widening my base and bending my knees. And all that repetition, all that drilling just makes me that much more confident in knowing how to handle myself when things go wrong. So the drilling mentality kind of keeps that at bay, and it gives me more confidence to skate in the way that I want to and the way that I desire to without letting fear kind of take over. The odds are slim that something's gonna go wrong.
I hit on the way.
Yeah, you got it. Next try or else. There you go.
And speaking of limits, Jiu Jitsu has really given me proper understanding of where my limits are. You know, I kind of know what I'm in for when I'm rolling with certain people. Before I started training, I was kind of in this weird place of, well, I'm getting older now, I don't want to get hurt, how can I keep skating? And you kind of see a lot of people that age, and yes, you know, your body does brittleize, for lack of a better way to put it, as you age, so the risk of getting hurt is much higher. Kind of take the mentality of if you don't use it, you lose it. It keeps all coming back to that mentality.
His shoes are hurting him.
Dude, it's like hurting my arch so bad. This is all I wanted to do when I came here to do was baby kick that.
Your arch nemesis? You bailed. But it's funny, you said you were gonna commit, you bailed. Interesting.
It just keeps me grounded in my confidence and knowing where my limits are.
There was a time and a place where I did not think you would commit, and today is not that day.
I know what to do now if I want to push my limits, or I guess I have a better understanding of what to do. I know where the line is.
I'm literally so annoyed.
And I know what I need to do if I want to push it past that line, rather than being 16 years old and I would just Hail Mary everything and hope that one would work. I don't think there's anything wrong with that approach either. I think you should try your luck if you have the ability to do so, and when you're young and you know you have all that strength and you're still growing. But for me, I want to keep doing the things that I love for as long as possible, whether it's jiu-jitsu or whether it's skating, and not to get hurt. So this approach kind of puts my mind at ease.
Oh my God. Only if this people can do all the way down. It was like,
How is he landing? You're doing a big move slightly front side and then just switch back to the power side.
Wow, dude.
In the beginning, when I first started training jiu-jitsu, I was really sore all the time. And I also started lifting weights, like actually committing to lifting 3 times a week, like a couple months before that. So my body was kind of continuously sore for like a year, and I was pretty low on energy. And I think that was more of an adjustment period for my body. But now fast forward to almost 2 years in, I feel like I have more energy than ever. I feel like the biggest thing that's improved is my overall athleticism. It's just improved the way that my body moves. I mean, jiu-jitsu isn't yoga, but you need a certain level of flexibility. And I think just training it in general kind of makes you more flexible. Like I can bend over and put my hands flat on the ground now. I never used to be able to do that. So when I fall and if I, do the splits, or I roll an ankle, or my knee bends weird in a certain way, I have more range of motion with my limbs and with my flexibility. I train jiu-jitsu at least every other day, and I don't feel nearly as stiff as what I used to, and it's because my body is used to moving all the time. And I think weight training also helps with that because my muscles in general all over my body are just simply stronger. So being more mindful of these positions and having this mindset, my stance, my positioning, the drilling approach, it makes my body feel much more like a well-oiled machine so that I can continue to do this for longer, and things are only going to improve over time. Now that I'm putting in the work, it feels good when things work out because I know that I've put in the work to get there, whether that's for skating, whether that's for jiu-jitsu, and I can take all of these lessons and apply them to life, It's a good, humble reminder that you get out of something what you put into it. I've been wanting to make a video about this for a while, so if you made it all the way through this video, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about anything that I talked about in this video, leave a comment and I'll gladly respond.